2019 Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is regarded as a groundbreaking Star Wars game because of its exceptional work in combining elements from multiple genres together, such as Tomb Raider's platforming mechanics, Dark Souls combat philosophy, and even Metroidvania-style exploration. However, the game still had its share of issues though, such as annoying backtracking and lack of content beyond its main story. And while the Arena DLC was a great excuse to come back, it doesn't really change the fact that there was something missing in the game. But despite of all of that, Fallen Order set the foundations for a really good game, by offering fun platforming, well-written characters, and some of the most grounded and immersive Jedi experiences since Jedi Academy. And that there guys, is why we're super hyped for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Games like Ori and the Will of the Wisps, God of War Ragnarok, and heck, even the original Assassin's Creed, have given us hope that flawed games can have excellent sequels. So join us here today at Game8 Information Station to see if Respawn's latest entry into Star Wars will Fallen Order on the strengths of the first game. Disclaimer: the score given in the video is based on the presentation of pre-release info and does not reflect a finalized score of the game. We will be making a follow-up video post-release, reviewing the game to give a well-informed final score. Jedi Survivor takes place 5 years after the events of the first game, with Jedi Knight Cal Kestis struggling to stay one step ahead of the Empire. There are even hints of the plot that allude to not just Cal and the gang seeking to revive the Fallen Order of the Jedi, but to also survive and find a safe haven from the Empire. Cal in BD1's journey goes off on a rocky start, with the Stinger Mantis crashing on the sandy terrains of Kobo. This planet looks like it will serve as Cal's base for some part of the playthrough. A moon location was also shown in the footage trailer, which highlights the game's familiar yet complex combat mechanics. But we'll talk about that in a while. We all know that Star Wars is no stranger to exploring countless worlds across the galaxy. Fallen Order allowed us to traverse the lesser-known planets to get a hold of them, with the sequel leading on to following that trend. It is widely believed that Jedi Survivor takes place around the same time as the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which suggests that it could feature familiar faces or enemies from the faraway galaxy. Or at the very least, some Easter eggs.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What's cool is that the game will also bring players back to Coruscant, which really shows how Jedi Survivor will really take Cal's adventure on a grander scale by going beyond exploring remote areas of the galaxy. So imagine Fallen Order's gameplay with a Coruscant Resistance action set piece? Oh hell yeah! Still, the reveal and gameplay trailers left a lot of unanswered questions. Like, who's the mysterious figure in the tank? It's likely that he's a High Republic Jedi, due to the insignia on his robes. And how he seems to be unaware of the present situation when he starts blaming the Jedi for letting the galaxy fall to the Empire. We're also super interested as to why he was in stasis, as it could give further insight on what the High Republic was like. There's also the fact that this guy also seems to be allied with the Jedi shown in the trailer, which obviously seems kinda scary if we're gonna have to fight these guys at some point in the game. By the way, Jedis like this guy actually gave Obi-Wan a run for his money, so you can imagine how Dark Souls worthy a boss fight of this dude is gonna be. We also get to meet an interesting ally named Bode based on the trailers. We don't know that much yet, but from what we've seen, he's definitely someone who's got Cal's back, even when it comes to gameplay. His jetpack and dual blasters are kinda lit though. Bode Acuna? More like Bro Acuna. Last but not least is that the gang is all here. They may not be together, but at least we got confirmation that Grease and Seer are in the game. A lot can happen in 5 years, and we're excited to find out what's changed for these troubled heroes. Of course, we won't forget that everyone's favorite Night Sister is back, and it's looking like she'll win our hearts again by finally getting the screen time she deserves, and also assisting Cal in gameplay like Bode does. Exploration played a huge role in Fallen Order's gameplay, and in the sequel, they expanded it even more by bringing new encounters and discoveries that players can get behind from. While the opening sections of the planet Kobo featured the traditional level design from the prequel, it widens once you climb the top of the Southern Reach area, which shows the players the vast open world and immersive art style that one can get lost from. We love that the game tries to keep true to its core by showcasing the game's sense of wonder and adventure. While players can follow the main objective, they'd be missing out on a chunk of side quests if they choose not to stray off the beaten path. We feel that its abundant content will help this game be a bigger success than Fallen Order, which was already a game that kept us wanting for more. There's plenty of stuff you can seek out, with caves containing mini-bosses that you can fight, and Jedi meditation chambers that feature complex puzzles that are just waiting to be conquered. These Zelda-style chambers will test players' wits as they utilize all of Cal's traversal skills and force abilities to complete various puzzles of the game. In doing so, players will be rewarded with perks and cosmetic upgrades, which can benefit Cal's quest to fight off the Empire. Survivor will feature new traversal options for Cal, as creatures can be tamed and mounted to enter new areas that are unreachable on foot, as well as a trusty grappling hook to reach faraway heights. Some areas will still be initially inaccessible, so we're curious to see what new gadgets and abilities Cal will have to learn throughout the journey. One of the problems we've had with the previous game was that the map system was kind of confusing to deal with. This time around, it seems that Jedi Survivor manages to ease our worries by adding convenient map features such as automatic passageways for undiscovered locations, as well as symbols for ability-locked areas. And of course, our personal favorite, the fast travel option. Compared to its predecessor, Jedi Survivor is looking to offer a much more expansive and convenient experience as far as exploration goes. The sequel noticeably kept its core combat mechanics intact, which isn't a hit in the game because it was already good in its own in Fallen Order. With an immersive and intense combat flow, it gives players a challenging experience filled with flashy combos, and finally, dismemberment finishers to stormtroopers and droids alike. The combat system gets a massive upgrade from the previous game, as 5 fully developed lightsaber stances can now be utilized versus Fallen Orders 2. To keep things interesting, players would have to eventually figure out which stances would work best with the situation. We're assuming this also applies to bosses as well, and would lead to the dynamic sequences that fans have come to expect. We're also hoping that we could do more tricks with our force powers in the sequel, as a wide variety of moves from Cal's stances and force abilities would keep battles from being played the same way. One scene from the trailer showed Cal using the force to fling enemies above, which could be a variation or another unlockable skill later in the game. That being said, the environment also plays a factor to your advantage. In some mini-boss encounters, you can use the force to throw around boulders to deal massive damage to enemies. We all know that projectiles are a pain to deal with, but can be repelled and redirected in an explosive fashion. Combat challenges seem to be included again in the game, similar to how Ori in the Will of the Wisps combat shrines rewarded players after destroying hordes of enemies. However, we're still not sure what kind of rewards we'll be getting from these combat encounters. From dedicated skill trees to every lightsaber stance that makes every skill point obtained much more significant, much of what we've seen so far allude to a very rewarding journey as players dive deeper into the path of a Jedi. Gone are the long days of overabundant ponchos, as the game now offers a larger variety of cosmetics. We were disappointed at the lackluster customization from Fallen Order, since it was one of the best parts of older Star Wars games like Force Unleashed and Battlefront 2. So it goes without saying that we're really looking forward to that part of the game. Star Wars Jedi Survivor has the chance to take the series to the next level, which all points towards the gameplay changes that the developers have made, particularly from its combat and exploration. The addition of different lightsaber stances could also improve its dynamic combat, while the wide array of side content to choose from has the potential to take this game to new heights. Fallen Order was mostly criticized for its technical performance during launch, so we're hoping that this sequel wouldn't fall on the same path as its predecessor. But aside from that, you already know that we're hyped for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This game looks like a 9 out of 10 for us. But okay, alright, we know we're getting ahead of ourselves. But that's what makes it interesting. We won't really know until we try playing the game. So be sure to follow our channel because we'll release a very well-informed review once the game comes out. And we'll see then if this game really deserves a projected score of 9. Mark your calendars for April 28th to join Cal and BD1 for another grand space adventure. So what about you guys? What are you guys excited to see in Star Wars Jedi Survivor? Let us know in the comments below. And until then, this is Game8 Information Station, signing off.
Hope survives.